Big up, everybody. Welcome back to TJ Warren TV. Welcome back to another episode of the Late 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 Show. Eberechi Eze has gotten the here we go to Arsenal. And forgive me if I sound a little bit tired. It has been a long day, and I just got home from a 15-hour day essentially. So I am just now getting to this news, and let me tell you, it couldn't be sweeter. So make sure you smash the likes. Make sure that you comment on the video, share the video around, subscribe to the channel if you're new. There are already 7 inside. Smash a like. Show me some support here, guys, because we are going live super goddamn late. If you are tuning in from the UK, big up, because you guys are absolute psychopaths if you are watching me right now. Big up Strasbourg Steve. Yes, solo show, my G. Solo show. Apparently I don't do enough of these. So everybody smash the like, and we're gonna talk some shit. We are gonna talk some mad shit for at least a half an hour, because we have to talk about the Eberechi Eze to Arsenal news. I know you guys have already been talking about it for the last 12 or so hours. I haven't been able to talk about it. Kai Havertz out for an undisclosed amount of time. Big up Hugo. Hugo. Yeah, dude, we're celebrating Kai Havertz. Well, we're not celebrating Kai Havertz being injured. I want to go ahead and put that out here right now. I am not celebrating Kai Havertz being injured. But I'm going to be honest with you. If it means that we have to go and get Eberechi Eze to get it over the to shore it up and to make up for it, and we dive back into the market like that, thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you for your sacrifice, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, Kai Havertz, get well soon. Get well soon. But Eberechi Eze, an England international, coming to Arsenal, believing that this club has the players to get the job done. I still have no faith in Mikel Arteta. This is an Berta signing, period, end of story. 60 mil plus add-ons for Eberechi Eze to Crystal Palace, and big up Crystal Palace for wanting to get the job done and wanting to send the player where he wanted to go. Crystal Palace, big up to Crystal Palace. I hope they kill it in the Conference League. I hope they get into Europa League. I hope Nottingham Forest get relegated. Big up Crystal Palace for letting their talisman go to where he wanted to go, which is the fucking Arsenal, baby. The fucking Arsenal. And yesterday, I'm not going to lie to you. Yesterday, if you watched my stream, I was in the mud. I was furious because I had zero faith that Arsenal were going to get the job done. Freaking Eze had verbally agreed terms with Spurs, but you know that there were some Andre Berta, he was cooking in the background. He's bringing that Atletico Madrid, that Spanish fucking sauce, that Spanish spice to bring Eberechi Eze to the fucking carpet. And here we are talking at 11:15 Central Standard Time here in the United States of America, talking about bringing a player of class who can bring hold up and creativity, not only to the 10, but to the left wing where we need it the most. So let's get into how this developed. I honestly haven't read a damn thing about it. I brought up a couple of articles I wanted to read while you guys are here. As a left wing or Zubi Rice as a versus Liverpool for me. Okay, so Hugo, riddle me this. And guys, go ahead and put your questions in the chat. I will interact with the chat, obviously, but I do want to read through a couple of articles so I can get myself catch up to how the fuck this happened. I would play him on the left wing. I don't think Odegaard will ever get out of the team. So, yeah, while we want to fantasize about Eze being in the 10, he will not be in the 10. Odegaard will continue to be in the 10, and we will have Eze on the left, being that creative spark, being responsible with the ball, and we currently don't have that left winger right now. Big up Martinelli. Thank you for your service. It's time to go, as an Arsenal legend once said. You just know that he doesn't have a place on this team now, and this signing definitely confirms it. His performances throughout the preseason, now that I've watched the preseason, were just not good enough. And we know what Trossard is. We know what Trossard's ceiling is. You know, we're never going to play Saka on the left. We're never going to play Yeri on the left. Maybe this weekend while Eze gets up to speed, but left wing is where we need to play him. Period. End of story. I don't want to hear anything about the 10. I think if we put Eze on the left, you get more creativity on that side of the pitch that we have been missing for a long time. Like, and look, I don't understand why that's so hard to understand. Like, that it's clear as day. Stevie Wonder can see that we are missing somebody with an IQ on the left, somebody that isn't going to just put his head down and run to the goal lines. We need somebody that can hold up play and make good decisions with the ball. So yeah, to be fair, Eze likes cutting in and linking play with Mateta could benefit Gyökeres. That's what I'm saying. Is that this guy cuts in, he will make the smart pass and he can shoot the ball. Like that goal, I lost it when he scored that goal. I mean, obviously he got called back, but that free kick against Chelsea, I mean, if that would have counted, what a send-off that would have been from him for Crystal Palace, right? But I lost it, and my wife was like, why are you losing? And I'm like, that's because Eberechi Eze just scored a hell of a fucking free kick goal. And now I got to tell her I was bragging. I was just like, yeah, remember that guy we watched score a goal for Crystal Palace? He now plays for the fucking Gun, baby. He plays for the Gun. Let's go. Let's go. Big up everybody inside. Smash a like. Subscribe if you are new. 22 absolute legends in the chat right now. People in the UK, you must have insomnia because you are here and you are listening to me talk about the ass. Nah. Big up Rycav New. He says, haven't caught up in a long time, going through a lot. My missus got leukemia. I'm really sorry, bro. Prayers to you. Prayers to you. I'm good. Yeah, life moves on. Prayers to you, my friend. Hope everything is well. And yeah, man, that's always really, really tough. But you know, health is wealth, as they say. And you know, you're in our thoughts, my friend. Thank you for stopping by. What a fraud. Doesn't street all summer. Now magically has time today. Dude, I've been getting called out so bad, Scott. I'm grabbing the mic. We're gonna get comfortable here. I have been getting called out so bad for my lack of content over the summer, and I you know, I had shit going on. And I wasn't interested in watching the Club World Cup. I wasn't interested in any of the competitions that were going on. I mean, the U.S. played 4 times and I didn't watch it. Then again, I didn't really want to watch Potch Ball, but that's a different story. That being said, yeah, you're right. I deserve all of the shit that I'm getting about it. I'm not going to lie to you. But hey, life moves on. We're here. We are here talking about Eberechi Eze right now. We are talking about establishing squad depth. We are talking about putting your boys, Tottenham, in the mud where you guys belong. You guys are not a serious club. Let's talk about Tottenham Hotspur first, real quick. Make Martinelli backup 9. I agree. Actually, I agree. Why not? If we're going to hang on to him, make him backup 9 before Marino. Let's see what he can do. Anyway, let's talk about Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham fans were laughing in our face saying, oh, well, he wants Tottenham. And I was sitting on this stream yesterday. It was yesterday, for God's sakes. Sitting on this stream yesterday saying, you know what? Why can't Mikel Arteta sell Arsenal to Eze? Why are we not going after Eze? It's clear as day that we need a left wing. We need another creative 10 that we can maybe bring in to sub in for Odegaard if he really falls off the table, which if you watch that United game, that's a distinct possibility again this season, if we're being completely honest. And I was saying, you know, credit to Tottenham. Like they're doing the business. They're getting it done. Our left wing move was Nani Madueke. Like, and you know, don't get me wrong. I think Madueke can do good in depth situations. But what I saw from him at Man United, like he's never going to start regularly for Arsenal. Like he's just not. Like, look, I rate him as a squad player. I do not rate him as a starting 11. And like, hopefully he can make impact in cup games. Like that's about it. But going back to Tottenham, they were cooking. They had just signed Kudus. They were bringing in signings that, you know, and they were linked with Eze immediately after James Maddison got injured. So you're looking at them being like, hey, these guys are actually serious about bringing in players that are going to put them long in the Champions League. And put them in a good spot to at least advance in the Champions League. I don't think Thomas Frank has enough managerial experience to get them very far once they get into the knockout rounds, but I think Thomas Frank will get them into the knockout rounds. But again, like how can we, the Arsenal, get to a Champions League semifinal and not be able to sell that to somebody who is playing in the Conference League? Like, and unjustly, by the way. I want to be completely clear on that. Unjustly. But no. It happened again. It happened again. It happened again. Tottenham Hotspur. It happened again. Arsenal come in and steal away the marquee left wing signing available in the Premier League, Eberechi Eze. And I heard a nasty, nasty rumor, and I hope this is true. Hugo, I hope you're still listening. Let me know if you heard this rumor, my guy. I heard that during his introduction video, they're gonna have Sol Campbell narrate it. It was Sol Campbell. The Sol Campbell. Hold on, the Sol Campbell.
Is it a color thing?
Yeah, that voice is going to be introducing Eze to the fans. Like, how funny would that be if Sol Campbell does it as, oh, what a jab. What a jab to those absolute losers. Have you checked on Jacob? Yeah, last time I heard he was actually breathing. He was breathing. So it's all good. It's all good. But anyway, what are you gonna do? Right? We did it. So let me bring up this article because I want to talk about how this actually happened, and it looks like this article from the Independent kind of tells the story pretty well. So we're gonna go through this. We're gonna reply to the chat. Make sure that you guys are smashing the likes. Make sure that you are subscribed to the channel if you're new. We are on the road to 2K. I will be on American Waffle tomorrow. I'm gonna be live with Connor on this channel tomorrow as well, and then obviously I will be on Flawless's channel, Sarcasm City TV, this weekend after the Leeds match. Just hours before Arsenal clinched the deal for Eberechi Eze, somewhat cruelly, Tottenham Hotspur finally put in an offer they felt would be acceptable to Crystal Palace. There had been a verbal agreement. Spurs just never got an answer, never got a proper answer. After days of difficult, painstaking negotiations between Daniel Levy and Steve Parish, Arsenal appeared to steal within a matter of mere hours. This has already seen the move cast as the mother of all transfer hijackings, especially with how it's another North London derby victory for the Arsenal. Yeah, Campbell and it would slap. It has to happen for the banter, period, end of story. Has to happen for the banter. Like, please, for this, the streets need this. I know I live in the streets of Kansas City, but the streets need this. The streets need it. All right. We're going to keep reading. Except it wasn't really a hijacking at all. The Independent can now reveal that Arsenal had actually struck the principles of an agreement with Crystal Palace as early morning of Sunday, the 10th of August. So 10 days in the making. They managed to keep it extraordinarily quiet, as illustrated by how it was only after Wednesday evening sensations that multiple sources were willing to talk about it. There was also the fact that in those 9 days, it didn't look like Arsenal would follow through on that agreement. The word put out was that they wanted to sell before they purchased, but they preferred a left winger. And the interest in Eze was repeatedly played down. There was a lot of mixed messages. Hey, shit! I thought it was done. I thought that ship had sailed. To be 100% honest with you, I thought we were done. But here we are talking about it. Ugh. I'm so happy, guys, and I'm so tired that I can't even form the words right now. So we're just going to keep reading. Levy certainly might feel that now. The situation has led to some surprising sympathy for Spurs chairman within the game. Their own negotiations for Eze had encountered repeated difficulties, as first reported by the Independent on Saturday night. The problems had actually preceded that. Talks almost collapsed on Thursday before there were constant holdups over issues like add-ons and how much was being paid up front. And just as one issue was resolved, another would arise. One description was saying the deal was done, constantly wanted to collapse, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Nevertheless, it looked so remote by Saturday that Eze itself had accepted Arsenal wasn't going to happen. Even he spoke to Paris to try to get his move sorted as Levy, the Palace chairman, met on Monday morning. Eze was genuinely excited about joining Tottenham. It just wasn't the one he really wanted. His dream move was to the Asna. That suddenly looked like it became a reality Wednesday morning. Arsenal finally acted on the deal. That shift will be linked to Kai Havertz's injury, but there's actually hope that the German's absence won't be that long, maybe less than 3 months. Kai Havertz development just accelerated everything. Arsenal wanted to make sure that they did not miss out. Big up Arsenal. Just the things that this will do for the club, I think I can't fit into one stream. I'm not going to lie to you. We needed this so badly. And I hesitate to say, "Oh yeah, the league is ours now." I'm not going to say that yet. But what I will say is that we are a hell of a lot closer than we were 24 hours ago. Like, again, very sorry that Kai Havertz got hurt, speedy recovery and all that. But if that's what it took to get a marquee player like Eze over the line, Crystal Palace's best player over the line, wanted by several Premier League top clubs, I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it day and night, left, right, and center. Pause. Oh, that's a big pause.
Hey, yo, what is going on?
Yeah. Ooh, hey yo, that's what's going on. Oh, by the way, I saw that I uploaded a clip of Igal yesterday. I just want to say big up to Igal, and how he cooked Staffy. I really, really appreciated watching that develop. Like, obviously, I was in the mud yesterday. I thought Igal was in the mud yesterday. He said we're paying for his hotel in London. Like, Igal never stopped believing, so big up to him, because he didn't stop believing, and Eze got it done, and Arsenal got it done. Medical booked for Friday in North London for Eberechi Eze to Arsenal. It's just unbelievable, guys. It's just absolutely unbelievable. But yeah, tell me what you guys think about this in the chat. Hugo says, "Are you getting a Eze white jersey, dude?" Okay, so here's the story. I already got a Gyökeres one. But that being said, that doesn't mean I'm not going to get another version of the red one for Eberechi Eze. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm shameless like that. Like, this club honestly can take my money in this instance, because if this money is paying to bring in marquee players like this, then I'm not going to be one to argue with it. I'm just not going to. I'm over the moon about this, guys. Like, again, I feel like I'm missing something right now, because I'm so goddamn tired, but I'm so goddamn happy. It's been a overall a good day. I had work, and then I had a performance that I needed to do, and now I'm back here reading up on the Arsenal, talking to you guys, and look, we did it, fam. We did it. We did it. Now, the question that needs to be asked, and the question that remains, is, will Mikel Arteta fix his strategy and his tactics to fit the players that we brought in over the transfer window? And right now, I don't believe that he will. And that is what is genuinely concerning. We have no excuses now, guys. We have no excuses in terms of personnel. We have depth at nearly every position. The only position you could say, hey, maybe we don't have a ton of depth, is the 10. And even then, I trust Winieri to operate in the 10. You can move Eze over to the 10, but I want him on the left, so I'm not even considering him on the 10, because I think we need a left wing so much better, so much worse, and Eze could cook over there. Here he is. Here's the fraud. Here's the fraud. I can't wait. I can't wait for Nick to cook up a video saying, "Oh, these Arsenal fans are overreacting. Let me talk in my cool voice like this and tell you guys about all the YouTube drama." Big up Knicks Football Club, by the way. This ambulance chaser, this Australian ambulance chaser here. Look at this guy. Big up my guy. Big up winning the league and all that. See, this guy's trying to rattle me up. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I need to see tactical changes from Mikel Arteta before I commit to that. But big up to you. Oh, dude, I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry, nasally as fuck. Well, okay, so maybe I need to do my Australian accent with a plug nose. Hold on. Mate. There you go. That's all I got. Sorry, that was really bad. But no, big up Knicks. Big up Knicks Football Club. He's a real one. Big up my guy. Big up. Thanks for your support, my guy. Thank you for being here. Yeah, but no, I'm not going out on a limb and saying we're gonna win the league. I need to see more out of this management before I say, okay, I'm gonna say, give Arteta a chance. I'm still Arteta out until proven otherwise. After that Man United performance, how can I be like, I'm looking right at the camera for this. How can I be confident? How can I honestly be confident that this manager is going to get us where we need to go when we bring in all these players that have a certain profile, fit a certain profile? You watch them play at Real Sociedad. You watch them play at Sporting. You watch them play at this, that, and the other, and you're not adapting to their skill set. That's actually criminal. That's absolutely criminal. Yes, hit the likes, people. Hit the likes. I don't understand it, to be honest with you. And look, at the end of the day, I'm not a manager. Maybe Mikel is playing 4D chess. I don't know. But it needs to start now. Give me a win at Anfield. Get me a win at home against Manchester City, and I might start believing, because we need to start beating marquee clubs, and we need to start being consistent enough to beat the mid-table ones in the dregs of the season. When we go to Craven Cottage in December and it's snowing or it's raining or it's whatever, and it's New Year's Day at Craven Cottage and we go down 1-0, what are we going to do? You know what I mean? Obviously, that's an example. I don't know if we even go to Craven Cottage in December, but that's just what I'm talking. That's just an example. It was one of my worst days of watching Arsenal. I remember 2 years ago, they were wearing that green kit. That was nice, by the way. If anybody has a line on that, I would love that green kit. But I remember driving home. Actually, my wife was driving home. It was New Year's Eve, driving home from St. Louis, and I was watching that on my phone. And I remember us taking a lead 5 minutes in, Saka goal. And then we choked it away. I think it was Jimenez that scored. And I don't remember who else scored for Fulham, but we lost 2-1. Like, absolutely insane. How are we going to get through those times? How are we going to do, they always bring up the rainy night in Stoke, man. Talk to me about a freaking February or spring day at Sunderland, right? Like, tell me, how about we beat West Ham at the London Stadium, or better yet, West Ham at home? These are the games where we trip ourselves up. Aston Villa, these mid-table clubs. Like, we need to do the business against them as well, and that is where I get a little worried, because Mikel Arteta, if he does one thing, it's play down to his competition, and so do his clubs. So until this manager proves me otherwise, I'm not going to go out on a limb and say, hey, we're going to win the league. I need to see more. I'm not talking about more transfers. If I was going to give, look, people are talking about, and I know I'm a little bit all over the place, but just allow it, honestly, because I've had such a long goddamn day. People are talking about transfer window rates, like ratings, right? Oh, TJ, what are you getting at 1 out of 10? Right now I'm giving it a 7, and here's why. Fabio Vieira, Sammy Lokonga, Zinchenko, Reece Nelson, Kiwior. Who else? I'm sure there's somebody else that I'm missing that I'm not thinking of. Yeah, I already said Sammy Lokonga. These players are still under contract at Arsenal, and we are probably going to loan each and every one of them out without an obligation. That is Mikel Arteta's fault. He has not developed that talent. He went out, spent $35 million on Fabio Vieira. We all knew. You saw his size. You saw his lack of creativity. Yeah, he did a couple of good things off the bench 2 years ago against Fulham. But other than that, we all remember the red card. We all remember the fact that he was not Like he couldn't produce in big moments. He couldn't produce in little moments either, especially when he started games. It was like our midfield was under a sedative for some reason. It was to the point where last season, before we loaned him out to Porto, they were playing him on the wing because they didn't trust him in the midfield. Like it's these types of players that are still here that that absolutely confound me. And this Hugo tells me that they extended his contract. They're going to loan him and they're going to try to find somebody to obligation to buy him. Reece Nelson is not going to be at Arsenal Football Club by the end of this transfer window. And if he is, he's going to be riding bench until the Carabao Cup first round, and then they might play him. He's past it for me. He's never fit into Mikel Arteta's system really well. Thank you for the memories. I do remember March 2023 at Bournemouth at home. Like, we all remember that. Thank you for that memory. But other than that, man, like it really hasn't been all that special, has it? Like, let's be real about it. Let's be real. And Alexander Zinchenko, he's been very, very verbal about the fact that he's not happy with the time with falling out with Mikel Arteta. Well, we're not happy with the way that you've been playing at this club and so inconsistently over the past 2-3 years. I think it's time for you to go, my friend. I do not think that we will find anybody that wants to buy him. I think we will loan him out and he'll go play midfield somewhere in Europe, and his contract will run out. Like, I'm sorry, like bringing in Zinchenko was just not the greatest idea. And who else am I missing? Oh yeah, Sambi Lokonga. Why is Sambi Lokonga still here? We've loaned this guy out to pretty much every country in Europe, sans I think like Italy and France, but he's played in Spain and he's played, his last one that I saw him play for, like, yeah, he was in Spain last season and then he was at Luton the year before. And if somebody, and I remember at Luton, he was tearing up some trees there. He was actually doing a pretty good job. So if Luton's manager, who is now probably not in the job because Luton Town is now in League One, if Luton's manager can get a tune out of Sambi Lokonga, why can't Mikel Arteta? They were still in the Premier League when he was playing for them, by the way. So, I just don't trust this manager to develop talent. So I get excited about the fact that we got Gyökeres over Sesko because Sesko needs development. And Sesko, I think, will eventually be a good striker. Don't get me wrong. I just think he's not the finished product. Whereas Gyökeres, you've seen how many goals he can score, not only in the Portuguese league, but in the Champions League, under the lights, against big teams. You can see that this guy can be an absolute star. However, that's all going to depend on Mikel Arteta's tactics still. So finished products is what I'm excited about with this transfer window. So the fact, minus the outgoings, right now I would give it a 7 out of 10. Minus the outgoings, because we went out and we got Zubamendi. Zubamendi's fantastic. Kepa was a good signing. He's better than Neto. He's won trophies before. He can back up Raya. He's Spanish, which for some reason that makes a difference. Obviously I rate that signing a lot. I rate Mascara. Great depth signing. So we're not absolutely killing Gabriel and Saliba. And the way that Mikel Arteta is playing right now, I think those guys are going to be doing a lot of running. So the earlier we can sub that guy on, the better. Madueke was a practical signing. He wanted to come to the Arsenal. I don't rate him at Chelsea. Some Chelsea fans liked him. Some Chelsea fans didn't. I talked about it earlier in the video. I think he's going to be a good depth signing. I think he's going to get some minutes, but he's not, unless there's a lot of injuries, he's not going to start consistently. Then you bring in Eberechi Eze, which that brought it from a 6 to a 7 for me, because this guy is going to cook. This guy is going to cook for us. And if you're an Arsenal fan and you're not excited, you don't have a pulse. Like this leads to my final point. And it's the point that I've been talking about. Nick nailed it about 5 minutes ago, I believe. Yeah, 5 minutes ago-ish. He said, I'm of the opinion that if you don't win, it's all down to Arteta. No excuses allowed. Even the top Gooner streamers like Egal are saying this. He said it on a stream with Gunner today. I was listening in for a little while. He said, there's literally no excuses now. It is on the manager. We have depth at every position. we have the best squad in the league. These are direct quotes. I'm not going to go as far to say we have the best squad in the league, but I will say we do have one of the best, and I believe the personnel that we have right now is capable of winning a league when they're playing at their best. When Martin Odegaard was playing at his best, he was a Ballon d'Or candidate. 2 years ago, he's fantastic. Bukayo Saka, if he's not injured and he's playing, if he's healthy, he can cook on their right side. Again, he got bottled up against Man United, and a lot of that I blame on the fact that we just haven't gelled yet as a team. I think we're going to get better. I think Gyökeres and Odegaard will be able to create some space for him eventually. But right now, just the tactics are not matching up with the profile of players that are currently in the squad. And then the left wing, we finally have some depth. We signed Trossard, which we know, what you're going to get out of Trossard every game. What his weak points are. You know what his bar is. You have Martinelli there that can come in and put in a shift. Again, you can't really depend on him to be that creative force. But he'll get you 5 goals if he gets a decent amount of time. Declan Rice need you to be steady Eddie. He had a little bit of a rough game against Man United, but I think he'll come around and be his normal self eventually, especially now that he has players to the left of him that he can actually utilize. Zubamendi, I rate him, but I'm nervous. I'm nervous about that La Liga that welcome to the Premier League tax. I'm a little worried about it, but there's 37 games left, so we'll see what happens. And then the back line. I mean, what can you say about it? The only thing that makes me a little bit nervous is Calafiori on the defense. Going forward, I think he's okay, but defensively, he's a liability. He guides people into the box. He literally provides lanes for opposing wingers into the box to cut in and make a move on David Raya. So I think Miles Lewis-Skelly, while Miles Lewis-Skelly is a midfielder, and he gets the occasional card playing left back, come on. The kid is special. He's shown that he's special. He's shown that he can cook on the left side, and he can actually invert into the midfield and do something with it. He's so comfortable on the ball in the final third. Miles Lewis-Skelly, I want him to start game in, game out, regardless. Obviously, the manager thought that sorry, I'm freaking tired. The manager thought that Calafiori was the right person to start, and he ended up being right. He ended up being right. So, good for him, because I think without that goal, without that personnel shot, we would have drawn or we would have lost, to be 100% honest with you. And then last but not least, Timber and Ben White, depth at those positions. I don't think that's been talked about enough. I think Ben White played all right against Man United, but I just think Timber needs to start game in and game out. I think Timber is nursing a little bit of an injury. So with his injury history, I would rather play Ben White than have a long-term injury hit Jurrien Timber and have him be missing, because when Jurrien Timber is on, he's one of the best right backs in the league, if not the best. The guy moving forward is very, very solid. I think he looked a little bit rough against Athletic Club, but if he's sitting out, that means he probably has some sort of injury. So, it's one of those things where I'm comfortable with Ben White. He's more of that overlap guy, but and how Mikel likes him. He likes his right backs to invert, but I think Ben White, he overlaps very, very well. I just think that the way that Mikel Arteta plays, it doesn't suit the overlap on either of the wings. So you saw probably 3 or 4 times, I think, that I can recall during the Man United game, where Saka was holding up play on the right and Ben White was overlapping and he never hit him. It's dude, he's right there. Why are you not passing to him? I just don't think Saka was used to that. I don't think Saka was used to having an overlapping winger. He doesn't have a ton of that when you have Jurrien Timber in. So again, we'll see. At the end of the day, we'll see. But Nick's comment here is 100% correct. It's all on Mikel Arteta now. And the Arsenal fan base really needs to come to grips with the fact that if we don't win serious hardware this season, we know who the weak point is. And it's not the players. It's not the players, period. Big up Pokemon Go, Spla123, Spella123. Big up. Thank you for the subscription. He says, do you think there's a possibility that we also go sign Rodrigo because his agent is in London? No, I don't think we're going to sign Rodrigo. That would be a 11 out of 10 transfer window if we went and got Rodrigo, but all of the news coming out of Spain says that he's comfortable there and Xavi isn't looking to move him. So I think they're down. I don't think Real Madrid would downplay it so much if he was linked to a serious move. We've been linked to Rodrigo, and I think it's a wet dream for most Arsenal fans to have him here. I rate him as a player. Don't get me wrong. I think he's buried in that Real Madrid squad, but again, I think it's come down to the fact that we have now spent how much money, hundreds of millions this transfer window. And don't get me wrong, I rate the transfer window, but I don't think they're going to spend that amount of money, especially after we went out and got a marquee Swiss Army knife in Eberechi Eze. So again, the reason we've done a lot of groundwork on Rodrigo. Yeah, we've done a lot of groundwork on him, but like how much groundwork is the board actually doing? This is why I don't like Twitter as a source of news for football. Like, yeah, I'll go on there and I'll post rage bait and talk shit with my friends on there, but I'm not going on there and seeking out a bunch of information unless it's, a reputed reporter, like somebody, like not some random Twitter ITK that thinks he has the answer, but he really doesn't. So yeah. All right. Anyway, guys. Oh my God. I knew this was going to be a short stream, so we're probably going to end it there. It's been a long day. Big up to everybody that watched. There, we have 27 people inside. If you guys have any final questions for me, let me know. I'm going to be live again tomorrow with Connor to talk more about the Eze signing. I'm really, really excited to hear what Connor has to say about it. Obviously, me and Dal will be back on American Idiots on Friday to talk about more of, obviously, the transfer window, talk and preview the games for the game week this season or this week. Obviously, Arsenal are at home to Leeds. I expect a win there. Everybody else should expect a win there as well. And I'll also be on Staffy TV tomorrow, I believe, at midnight UK, right? Yeah, midnight UK. For American Waffle, we'll be previewing game week 1 and dunking on Jacob Wallraven, a.k.a. United Spurs of America, a.k.a. the cult leader. We will be dunking on him as well. Until next time, guys. Subscribe to the channel, like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think about the Arsenal transfer window. Put it in the comments below. What do you rate this transfer window? Tell your friends about the channel. And hey, here we go. Eberechi Eze to Arsenal. Until next time, we'll see you later.